Nightwing number 23, Tim Seeley writing, Minkayu Zhang on art, and this is the next part of this arc, or was it the first part? It's the second part. It's the second part. We already had the first one with Blockbuster. Yeah. That's right. But basically, yeah, Desmond, the current Blockbuster, basically makes his pitch to Nightwing, because we ended the last issue with him being like, "Yeah, I want your help," or I've got a job for you," or whatever he said. It turns out that he at least appears at this point to be wanting to clean up the streets, and he's not happy that tiger sharks like flooding the streets with these weapons and all the rest of it. Obviously, at the end of the issue, it turns out to be a con, and he's actually luring Nightwing into this trap and this cool abandoned ship out in this little island to test all the weapons. And we have all these like C-list and D-list villains around that are here to buy the guns, which is a fun notion. But other than that though, we had a really fun sequence where Nightwing deals with this weird robot lady.
Yeah, and it was just typical Dick in the sense that he's like, "Hey, I should learn some new skills. How about forklift operator?"
Yeah, and he pilots the forklift for a second. Actually, my favourite line of that whole thing is because the guys who've got it just kind of bought it from somewhere shady. He's like, "Oh, it fell off the back of a truck," but now it's chasing them down to try and kill them. And as he like saves them, he says, "Run, take everyone you see with you, and in future, don't buy strange robots." I love that line.
It's good.
That's a good line. Yeah. No, it's kind of a fun issue. It's keeping the arc going. It brings back in Svoboda a little bit. It gives us a scene with her to just again re-establish what their relationship is as a sort of, it's very much not Batman and Gordon. This is a cop who doesn't really like him. Will only work with him when it benefits her.
Yeah, at least for now.
And she also, when he hands over a bit of paper with a couple of like corrupt cops on it, she scrunches it up as if she's like, "I'm not interested. I'll protect them because they're my blood."
Do you know what? I was almost surprised that we didn't have a scene after he left with her opening it back up and looking at it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, it's the sort of thing where she's put on the front, "I don't trust you," but she's not stupid enough to ignore it entirely.
Yeah, I feel like her long-term arc might be that she doesn't become like a Gordon entirely, but I feel like she will be a more moral person by the end of this tenure on the book. Like she will have a growth herself as we go. Sean and Dick have an interesting scene.
This is my favorite stuff of the book, and it's probably my favorite stuff of the series in general at the minute, is their relationship.
Yeah, because we have her struggling with running this support group again, and Dick comes in and she's kind of pissed at him that he's not went for the job interview. She's like, "Oh, we talked about this, Dick, blah 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 blah," and he's like, why is this so important to you? And now, obviously, in the real world, this is important to everyone because everyone needs money. But in this scenario, why is this important to you? I'm not just going to run off kind of thing. And she's concerned that he's too relieved that she wasn't pregnant. And then he reveals that he is kind of relieved, but not for the reason that you think he's relieved. He's relieved because he's worried that any kid they have would learn too much of her anger. Like, because he talks about how it makes an important part of his life for it not to be defined by tragedy, despite the fact that, how he became Robin was started that way. He tries to live in a more sort of upbeat way. But she still has all this anger from being this criminal sidekick and all the rest of it. And we see this moment at the end where the pigeon calls her and she accepts the call, and you're kind of worried, like, is she going to maybe not go straight back to being a criminal, but is she going to rekindle that relationship, and what is that going to lead to? Because she maybe feels...
I think that's it. It's the most real this book feels. Obviously, that's a strange thing to say anyway, because it's it's all superheroics.
Yeah.
But this really grounds it, and because it does feel like a very real relationship.
It does. And it does make me think, oh yeah, this isn't going to be a forever thing. Like this is maybe a relationship that is going to be ultimately doomed.
Which kind of makes me sad, because I really, really like this relationship.
Yeah, but what I like about that though is that it's made us care about it. But at the same time, I kind of accept if the ultimate intention is to sort of have it be like a lesson for Dick and how it crumbles. Like, is it his fault? Is it her fault? What does he learn from it? Like,
I get it. I see the story potential, but I'll still be upset when it ends.
Yeah. So so really, it's definitely the most interesting scene of the issue. The rest of it's fun, of course. In fact, I want to mention one of the criminals the first criminal that he interacts with at this sort of arms deal, if you want to call it that, is a Skyhook, who's the villain right now in Superwoman. So there's a little bit of you've seen him over there.
You got Vertigo in there.
Yeah. Is that Shadow up in the back?
Where am I looking?
Up in the perch. She's got a bow and arrow.
Up on the perch.
And double page spread.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, other side. I was looking on the perch on the left.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so that was the
Yeah.
cliffhanger. Dick's in the wheel's den, and that's him. He needs to get out of it. Classic
Yeah.
cliffhanger, basically.
Do you know, I have one query about this book. Early on, when him and Blockbuster are talking, so obviously Blockbuster is back to his normal self, but he starts transforming, and then he takes a drop of something and then goes back to normal.
Yeah.
So is he permanently Blockbuster and then he takes something to look normal?
I think that's what it's implying. Maybe because the version he has that his brother doesn't, it works the opposite way, where he has to take something to be normal again.
Yeah, it just never said anything because we don't see it the first time. Because obviously we open and he looks normal.
Or has it always been like a Jekyll and Hyde thing, where, well, did the original Blockbuster turn back to be normal? I can't remember if he did. I feel like he was always just the big grunt after that.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was something he took and it made him into that, like it was a serum that he took that activated it at the time. So like he chose to become it, not chose to stop.
Yeah, but the original Blockbuster, did he ever stop though at all?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if he did. In my memory, I can't remember him ever becoming
Can't
normal
remember
again.
it, but yeah.
I feel like he was always just a big grunt, whereas this Blockbuster seems to have like have a thing that he takes that makes him be normal again for X amount of time.
Yeah, which I think is interesting.
But we can also see that he's smarter as Blockbuster as well. He's not a big dumb guy. So
yeah,
there's some differences there. Maybe makes him more of a foe beyond just the big grunt. You know, smashy, breakbacks, all that kind of thing. So that's Nightwing, which I thought was a fine issue.
yeah, I thought it was a good issue, elevated by the scene with Sean.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the standout issues, but it was kind of another solid issue in the run that is keeping things moving along.